have a seat. Flow the buttock towards the back of the knees. When you sit now in swastikasana, flow from the inner groins towards the inner knees. So you're going to hear me probably in class today refer to the inner groins moving to the inner knees, but also the inner legs. And those are two different things. So just to be clear about that now, the inner groins are obviously the inner groins, but the inner leg is more of the middle of your thigh. So the middle of the upper leg towards the inner knee. It does have a different effect. And so, yeah, just so we understand that terminology now, it'll just make it easier. Okay. Bring the fingertips to the sides and turn the upper arms out. Settle the shoulders down away from the ears. But keep the buttocks descending, outer groins descending, legs released. Just have as much height as you need under the buttock. Take a moment to really feel that surrender of the inner groin. There should be a sense of cooling in the inner leg. And as you maintain that, bring the palms together. Close the eyes and turn the attention inward. Again, feel the outer corner of the heel of the hand touching the opposite hand. And then join me for the sound of Om. And then release the head down towards the heart center and surrender there. Release the hands with the palms up. Bring the head up with closed eyes and then softly open the eyes. All right, everybody, let's come on up to standing. Stand in Tadasana. Stand close to a wall. So you don't necessarily need your mat to be at the wall. Just stand close to a wall so that heels quite close so that you can get that Tadasana at the wall, meaning bend your knees. Feel how the upper buttock flesh descends. Use the wall to pull that upper buttock region downward as you lift your legs to straight. Then spread the mounds of the foot. And observe when you do that how, of course, the kneecaps lift, but observe how the inner upper knee today, I want you to pay attention to the inner upper knee, how that moves back. Then bring the palms together. Keep that inner upper knee back so the front thigh groin is back. Interlock your fingers for Badanguliasana. And inhale now, draw the arms up. Keep the side waist back towards the wall, but elongate out of the side body. Now remember how this pose might have felt if someone would to be pressing your front thighs back. Elongate more and more from the side body, but keep your side waist, side ribs back. And then take the arms forward and down. Remember how you crossed your fingers, but redo that Tadasana. So you get accustomed to releasing the low back band so that as the upper knees lift and thighs move back, the tailbone comes in further and more. Interlock the fingers the other way, press the palms forward, side waist back, and inhale, elongate to come up. pin the triceps to the midline to help you lengthen. And then take the arms forward and down. Tadasana. Now, we're going to take Vriksasana, tree pose there with your back at the wall. If you need like an inch or something, you can bring a heel a little bit away from the wall, but we're using the wall for balance today. Bring the right leg up, heel at your inner left thigh. Once you get it there, put your 2 elbows against the wall. Descend the buttock again, right? You might even bend the left leg to get that action. But press the elbows into the wall, and you might feel then that your mid buttock, tailbone region, floats away from the wall and actually presses inward. Now, initially, make the action about your standing left leg. So notice how the hip, it'll kind of drop out to the left. Bear weight in the heel of your left foot so that the front thigh, inner knee, front thigh moves back, keeping mid buttock in so the chest can lift. And when you get that inner left heel down, the outer hip can firm in, your right heel can press the inner left leg a little bit more, so you're just more stable. And then release the right leg, Tadasana. And second side. So bring the left leg up, descend the buttock, and then just put your elbows against the wall so the balance component is just nullified today. Take a moment, catch the buttock flesh down, but notice where the weight goes in your right heel. For most of us, if we don't think about it, it'll be in the outer foot. Bear weight in the right heel and aim for that inner heel to bear weight more and more, to take the top right thigh back. So when the top right thigh is back, press the elbows so mid buttock, tailbone is in, and the chest can lift. Press the right heel into your inner left thigh so that it just helps keep your left leg up there, right? And then Tadasana. Go back to the first side again, right leg up. Kind of start where you left off. So gather all those things we did before. And then as you press the elbows into the wall, mid buttock in, and you look forward, put your brain in your inner right thigh, not the inner groin, the inner leg. Lengthen that inner right leg to the inner right knee. So you kind of have to imagine that flesh there is being pulled towards the inner knee furthermore, and just, the left leg stays steady, but put your brain power in that inner right leg. I have a visitor today. The kitty wanted to come with me. Hi, Mama. So I couldn't say no. I'm such a pushover. Okay, now release that right side. Second side. Get your right thigh back, mid buttock in, and press into the elbows so the chest lifts. Once you're stable, elongate the inner left leg to the inner left knee. Put your brain power there and feel that flesh lengthen and extend, almost like a piece of elastic being drawn away from you. Release that side, Tadasana. Now, come out to your mat and get a couple bricks. I'm sorry, lady, I'm going to use this. Go on. She follows me to come over here, and it's further than really where she should go. So then by the time I'm here, I don't want to walk her back. So it's like you just have to come in. Okay, so put your blocks on medium. We're going to take Utthita Parsvakonasana. Come to standing in Tadasana. Find that Tadasana, right? So buttock down, lift your knees, but feel how the inner upper knees move back. I'm using that today only. That's not like, oh, every time you do Tadasana, inner upper knees. No, but it's a part of it. And observe how it takes your thighs, inner groins back, but you have to charge the mid buttock forward from there. Well, I'm going to step, I guess, because if I jump, I'm going to smash this cat. But step or jump. Of course, maybe it'd get her off my mat. Feet under your hands. Turn your legs to the right. Now, we're going to bend the right leg. Inner thigh flows to the inner knee and right hand down to the brick. So we're just going to come in, bend the right leg. Oh, sorry, I'm not mirroring you. I forgot. Take the left arm over. And then inhale, come up. It's really short, okay? Stand in your left heel, just be. We're going to do the same side again. And flow the inner thigh to the inner knee. Keep that area flowing as you bring the right hand down, left arm up and over. Inhale, come up. Right, stand in your left heel so the left thigh stays back. Once again, flow the inner right leg to the inner knee. Bring the right hand down, left arm up and over. Elongate now. And then inhale, come all the way up. Turn your feet forward. 3 times, second side. So turn the legs to your left. So press the right heel and bend your left knee. Flow the inner thigh to the inner knee and bring the left hand down. Put it on the brick, right arm up and over. Flow that inner knee still. Inhale, come up. Do again. Flow the inner leg to the inner knee. Right arm up and over. Then inhale, come up. Flow the inner leg, right arm up and over. And then inhale, come on up. Turn the feet forward. Jump, Tadasana. Good. Now go back to the wall and stand in Tadasana again. We're going to do Vrksasana again. So catch the same work. Bring the right leg up and put your elbows against the wall. Keep the buttock descending. Left inner upper knee lifting so you bear weight in the inner left heel, but press the elbows so both sides of the buttock float away from the wall. Now, as you look forward, and the back of your head can even be on the wall. Lengthen that inner right thigh to the inner right knee. Put all your brain power there. Get that inner leg long. And as you do, observe how the outer right hip groin region hugs in, grips. So using the elbows against the wall to get your chest to lift, I find helps. Power that inner right leg away from you further and more until you feel that grip in the outer right hip. And then release, Tadasana. Second side, of course. So catch the work. And then feel how the work, it'll kind of evolve into this inner leg, lengthening to the inner knee. Find how that effort causes that outer hip to begin to grip, to hug, to grip beneath you as if it were pushing away from the wall. Chest lifted. And then release to Tadasana. Now, we're doing that one more time. There's one more thing I mentioned at the onset of Vrksasana that can help you find that grip. And that is this. So go ahead and bring your right leg up. Now, as you begin the work and you drive your inner left heel down, really hard press your right heel into your left thigh. Use the elbows against the wall. Observe how that can help those actions of the inner leg to the inner knee and that outer right hip region to hug beneath you. Make that inner leg grow longer, more fluid. And then release. Second side. So inner right heel down, hard press your left heel bone into your inner right thigh. Elbows into the wall, and then find that circular action in your left leg, the inner thigh to the inner knee, in order to catch that gripping in the outer left hip. That inner leg elongating should give the sense almost like the whole inner leg is being pulled away from you. Good, and then release back to center. Great, everyone. Now come back to your mat. Move your bricks aside. Stand in Tadasana. Now, Utthita Parsvakonasana again, this time no bricks. I want you to try to get your fingertips to the floor, okay? Jump. I'll go ahead and mirror you. Turn to the right. Left heel down so that left thigh is back. Flow the inner right leg to the inner knee. Bring the fingertips down, left arm up and over. Do what you need to do to get those fingertips down. Come on, exhale, get there. Good, inhale, come up. Now we're gonna do it twice more on the same side. As we do, try more and more to get your whole palm flat on the ground. See if that's a possibility. Exhale, flow, bend, move, and take the right hand down. What if you got your palm flat? Take the other arm up and over. Stretch the two legs away from one another. Inhale, come up. Left heel back, left heel down, thigh back. One more. Exhale, flow. Arms up and over and reach. And then inhale, come on up. Turn the legs forward. So it's just trying to get some of that mobility in the body. Turn the legs to the left. Flow the inner left leg. Try and get the fingertips to come down now. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, flow the inner leg to the inner knee. Then hand down, try and get the whole palm down. Changes the whole thing, I know. Inhale, come on up. Last one, flow, reach, palm down and extend that top arm, elongate through the side body. Then inhale, come all the way up. Turn the feet forward and jump, Tadasana. So with that same Tadasana, buttock down, inner knees, lift and go back, tailbone in. Now we're going to use the bricks one more time. Turn them on tall. We're going to do Utthita Trikonasana just one time, okay? So, yeah, let's go. Jump. Turn your legs to the right. Left heel down. So that left thigh's up, knees back. Come on out over the right leg. Turn the brick on tall. Bring your left hand to your left waist, but put the right heel of the hand down. Now, as you look forward, really bear weight on your right arm. So your leg gets an easier Trikonasana today. Keep the left heel down, left thigh back. Relax the abdomen. In fact, get a sense that your abdomen's flowing from right to left, right? But really bear weight on the heel of your right hand. Now, put just a mini bend in your right knee. In order to slowly, you're going to straighten the knee, two things at once. Straighten the knee, bear weight, not just in the mound of your right big toe, but also the inner right heel. Go on. Lift the knee and bear weight in the inner leg. Of course, your arm will have to do a little more. Keep the right side waist, side body long. Keep the left heel down, but elongate that inner leg from the inner thigh to the inner knee in order to catch a sense of that outer right hip hugging beneath you. Head and shoulders back a little to catch that. If your head's forward, you're never going to get it. Lean the head, lean the shoulders back so that outer right groin, hip, buttock grips in. Then left arm up. Inhale, pull up and come out of the pose. So I don't want you to feel like it's an overstretch of the inner leg. I want you to feel how it's that gradual lengthening, like a flowing of the inner leg. Go to the other side. And then as you're ready, come on out over that left leg. Bring the right hand to your right waist. All right. Just take a moment. Coordinate, right? Right heel down, right thigh back. Really bear weight on the left heel of the hand so your left leg has it a little easier. Then bend the knee a little. Why? I want you to bend so you don't just make a hammock out of that knee. That just depends on the person, but let's just make sure. So now press mound of the big toe, inner heel. So you shift the weight into the inner left foot as you lift the knee and elongate that inner leg. It should feel just like that long, gentle extension of the inner leg to the inner knee. Now, shoulders back, head back. Really bear weight on the heel of your hand. So you hug that outer left hip beneath you, like it's being pressed towards the screen or the wall in front of you. Then right arm up. Inhale, lift and come on out of the pose. Turn your feet forward. And with your exhale, jump. Tadasana. You can set the bricks aside. We're going to take the legs wide and go into Prasarita Padottanasana with the hands on the floor. I want them right under your shoulders, arms straight. If you need bricks to do that, that's fine. We're not going to take it any further than that. We're just taking the legs straight and wide. Jump. So get the full width. Bring your hands to your waist. Spread the mounds of the foot. You'll notice when you get the full width, the feet will turn just a little out. That can be managed as you come into the pose. They'll turn forward. So now observe how I still want your inner thigh flowing to your inner knee. Connect with that. Because a weird thing does happen. When we come forward, the inner groins tend to grip. Instead, flow the buttock down and flow the inner groins towards the inner knees. Use that as you come forward to keep that region from just overly gripping. So once you bring the hands down, you can look at the feet and turn them forward. Now, two things to concentrate on here. One is flow the back buttock away from your waist. So feel that the buttock is being drawn back. Now, something I've been saying a lot recently, and it's still correct, I'm not changing it, but I want you to contact the feeling of this in a different way. I've been saying buttock towards your heels. So right buttock to the right heel, left buttock to the left heel. That's one way. Observe how another way of connecting to that is rolling your inner groins towards your inner heels. Do that here, keeping the upper arms turned out and the chest pulling forward, so that there is a distinction and a movement in your pelvis that works, that correlates with the legs, but it's not as harsh as, and it's not the same as, so don't do this, but you'll see what I mean. It's not as harsh as draw your tail beneath you. right? If I said draw your tailbone beneath you and forward, and you can do it for a second because I know you will when I say it, feel how there's a grip in the groin. But if you flow the inner groins to the inner knees and take your outer groins buttock back, there's more of a relaxed state at the pelvic floor and a length, an ongoing length that can happen in your legs. And that's what I want you to find. This long, ongoing length of those inner groins to the inner legs. Of course, do not just slam your knees back, but keep the inner knees lifted. Now, when the inner knees lift and roll back, move your outer calves also back. That'll keep that inner knee from overworking. So inner knees back, outer calves back, even as you flow the inner groins to the inner heels. And that'll also keep the knees from overlocking if you keep that action going. Problem is our brain gets tired. Keep the upper arms turning out so that the chest is pulling forward and the side ribs are long. Last few moments here. Bring your hands to your waist. Inhale, come on up. You can heel toe or step your feet together and be in Tadasana. Okay, now take, that's right, take downward facing dog. And when you do, let your distance in your downward dog be a little shorter than normal. So that again, you can use that flow of the buttock to the heels and the inner groins to the inner heels, inner legs, flow downward in order to work to get the heels down. And as you do that, lift through your inner knees and roll the inner knees back. Roll the inner knees back. It's a very different feeling in your hips if you get it. I'm not asking you to lock your knees because it's a little harsh, but today that's not such a big deal, but get those inner knees back. And then take child's pose. Knees apart, big toes together. You can reach the arms out or you can put hands under your head, whatever you want. Rest. Good. And inhale, now come on up. Okay, so we're going to take shavasana and just be where you're comfortable, whether that's at a wall or in the middle of the room. Just be where you feel stable, okay? If you're not going upside down today in shavasana, then take Setu Bandha with a bolster and a brick, which means it's this one. There's so many different Setu Bandhas, but this is typically the one I use if it's during headstand. So brick under the tailbone, arms to the sides so that you get the lift of the chest, and legs can be straight. Okay, so it's this Salamba Sarvangasana. If Setu, gosh, my brain is not working. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Otherwise, shavasana. Okay. Now, I'm not going to have you up at all for a very long time. It's fairly quick. In fact, I think I'll turn to my side so if there's any questions, you can see. Okay, so you're going to interlock the fingers. If you're not up already, press the outer wrists, forearms down, head down, shoulders lift. Turn the toes, walk the feet in, shoulders lift. And then as you're ready, come on up. You can do both feet together. You can do one leg at a time. Lift through the knees. Keep the shoulders lifted and then legs up. So go on and make your way into your shoulder stand today. Once you're there, separate your feet by about hips distance and push the heels to the ceiling, and observe how that helps you lift the buttock up. Keep that lift as you bring your feet together so the mounds of the big toes touch. Press the mounds of the foot up, and now use that to help roll the inner knees back, butt, tailbone, mid buttock forward. So those two energies have to work against one another inside. Outer wrist down so the shoulder blades remain stable and firm in the back. Inner knees back, mid buttock forward, straight through you towards the wall you can see. And then breathe. Breathe into the side body. Observe how that inner knee back action helps the outer legs firm towards the bone, and how when the tailbone comes in, it gives a lift and lightness, not only in the pelvis, but actually in the abdomen and also in the spine. It's not really, it's not like if you were on a scale, you'd be lighter. I know that. But it's sort of this pranic lift that comes over time. Keep the gaze soft. Keep the press in the outer wrist and center form so the biceps and shoulders lift up. If you feel like you get tired, separate your feet a little bit and push the buttock, lift the buttock into the heels again. It's a great place to do and do again. So then when you bring the feet together, the body is re-energized and the inner knees go back, mid buttock forward. Steer the breath into the side body. Now, as we get ready to come down, flow the inner groin towards your inner heel. Lengthen the inner leg. As you hug the outer legs together, lengthen the inner groin towards the inner heel and let that help you bring the legs down. Knees down, child's pose. Then place your hands under your shoulders, push the floor away, and come on up. So now, open up your mat, get a strap, maybe a blanket for your head if you want. We're going to take Supta Padangusthasana. Okay, so have a strap. You can go ahead and make a loop in the strap. So that if you have a loop, it's a nice way to get a hold of the foot, in my opinion. So it's just one way that we're going to work with tonight. So once you lie back, bend your knees, make sure you're in the center of the mat. It seems like something that's already happened, but it really does make a difference to use your thumbs to push the flesh of the buttock away from you. So do that. Then Extend your left leg out on the floor to make the left leg straight. Push the heel away. So that as you do, and the mound of that foot presses away, you feel the inner left thigh go down. So you guys know, if I was there, the adjustment there would be my hand on the center thigh and I'd be flowing that inner thigh down. Inner groin towards the inner heel. Make that inner leg long. Then hug your right leg in. Double the strap and put it around the metatarsals of your right foot. Today we're working with the metatarsals, not the heel. All right? So right below the mound of the foot. Now, when you straighten your right leg, really straighten it. Push through the heel. Keep the left inner leg flowing down. Now, you're pushing through the right heel. Feel also that the hands pull down. So there's a sense of like connectivity of this leg into the hip. Knees must be straight. And then just be there for a moment, finding that connectivity, the outer hip moving away from you, all those things. It should be kind of soothing to the hip. Now put both straps in your right hand. The elbow can be a little bent. Put your left hand on your left thigh. Now just listen before you do. You know, we're going to take the right leg out to the right. But as you go to do that, I want you to feel your left inner thigh down as you move your right leg so that you keep your left hip on the ground. Go ahead and begin, but go really slow. Left thigh down, inner thigh down as you bring your right leg to the right. Your right elbow can come down, but really please take your time so your left hip stays on the ground. Left thigh continues to descend. Now, once you get there, yes, the left hip and buttock will get lighter, but push your right elbow to keep that left buttock down and press out through the mound of your right big toe and flow the inner right leg towards the mound of that big toe. Make that inner leg elongate slow and steady away from you. As you work there and you look towards the ceiling, the abdomen and chest turn towards the left to keep that left leg, hip, buttock down. Even though the right leg, that inner leg, lengthens towards the right. Now, just like in triangle pose, lengthen the inner right leg and observe how that outer right hip buttock hugs straight through your leg and towards the ceiling. We're only doing this one time. So I want you to stay with it and get all the sensation there. Then inhale and come all the way back up. Release that leg. Bend both legs. Good. Move the buttock away from you. Push the right heel away and elongate that inner thigh to the inner heel. Make the leg longer so that the inner thigh flows down. It literally should feel like it's pulling your right hip away from you. Then hug your left leg in. Use the strap, double it, and hook the strap around your metatarsals. So right beneath the mound of the foot, straighten your left leg, heel presses up, but that strap pulls back down. So the left buttock hip moves away from you, but feel how that downward pull of the strap connects the leg to the hip socket. Now, Keep the inner right leg long. Put the straps in your left hand, right hand, put it on your right thigh just to help you keep track of what happens in this hip. Move slowly, because every time your left leg shifts left, your right leg has to lengthen to adjust. Slow and steady so you can keep that right thigh hip down. Elongate through the inner left leg as you go, which will help. Don't be in a rush. Keep that inner right thigh, inner knee of your right leg back. Then once your elbow's down on the left, keep the right hip down. You press that elbow to get that hip down, abdomen, chest to the right. But now flow the inner left leg to the inner left heel. Make that inner leg longer as your inner right knee goes back and down to the mat, keeping that hip on the ground. As your left leg transforms and elongates, observe how, the elbow pressing down, by the way, helps this, how that outer left hip hugs through you and towards the ceiling. All right, and then inhale all the way back up. Release that leg. Bend both knees and hug both legs in. All right, guys. We're going to roll onto our side and come up to sitting. And from here, I want you to take your mat to a wall again. You don't need your strap. You just need your mat, but I want you to put the long edge of your mat against the wall. So, let's see. So what you're going to do now is sit in the middle of this mat, legs wide, back of the hips to the wall. Scoot yourself back and put your back and shoulders against the wall. The legs don't have to be, massively wide, but wide. It's not about how wide you can get your legs. It's just Upavishta, right? Take the hands between you and the wall. Good. Now, as you get settled there, shoulders back. Now, energetically, flow the inner groins towards your inner heels. And feel it's similar to right buttock, right heel, left buttock, left heel, but it's different. It's the same but different, right? As you push the inner heels away, press the mounds of the foot away also. Just that. It's weird though. It's kind of a stretch, but it's more strength, really. Then hold from your inner knees. Put the 2 feet in Baddha Konasana. And same thing, hands between you and the wall. It doesn't have to be an aggressive Baddha Konasana at all, but get your heels close to your hips, as close as you comfortably can. Relax your knees, shoulders back, but now flow the inner leg towards that inner knee. It should feel like the inner legs right there are like elastic and being pulled away from you. There's a few of you who have probably gotten that adjustment from me before with a strap here around your inner knees. So it's not to push the knees to the ground. It's simply to get this flesh this musculature here at the inner leg to get longer. And as it gets longer, the outer hip can find its own sense of strength. Elongate now, all the way even from the inner groins to the inner knees. Elongate. You just lean back into the wall. The rest of you doesn't have much to do. Good. Now lift from the outer knees, straighten the legs. You can just straighten them out in front of you. Move the hips back again and take the legs wide again. Flow the inner legs to the inner heels. And still just keep your back there against the wall. Now, you're going to use, let's see, I'll do the same leg as you. You're going to take your left leg and put it in Baddha Konasana, left leg only. So hold the inner knee, put that left foot in Baddha Konasana. Feel how that inner left leg rolls away. You can use a hand to help you. So Baddha Konasana implies that the sole of the foot is, perpendicular to your body. Now, both hands go to the underside of that foot. So now my left hand is holding my outer left ankle. My right hand's holding by the small toe side of the foot. And I want my left toes to point towards my right thigh. So it's almost like a Janu Shavasana leg now. That's what I would call it. And when you do that, then from your inner knee to the big toe, roughly that's a straight line. I mean, your leg is shaped a certain way, but that is trying to be as straight of a line as it can. And the heel is actually trying to move away from you. Do that. Use your hands there. Don't force it, but use your hands there and lean back into the wall. And observe how when you do this action with your foot and ankle, and I'm even using my hand to kind of iron out the sole of my foot. Observe how the inner leg flows to the inner knee and that outer hip can grip. Consider your right leg. Keep the toes pointing to the ceiling. Make the inner leg long. And then release that side. So just send it back out into Upavishta. Other side, hold your inner right knee, bring the right leg into Baddha Konasana. I don't know about you, I always find when I work one leg at a time, I can get that Baddha Konasana leg much more freely. So it's nice to do it that way. Relax the knee, flow the inner legs. Your knee doesn't do the work, the knee receives the work. So make that inner leg long. So right now we're in Baddha Konasana. But I want you to move that right foot to Janu Shavasana. So the hands go to the outer ankle and the outer foot. And it's how you move that foot and ankle. And it will change how your calf is positioned in relationship to your thigh. You can even use your left hand now. You see how I use my left hand to try and turn the sole of the foot. So when I do that, there's a lightness that comes in the buttock. Don't force it, but keep that inner leg long to the inner knee and turn the foot ankle. So that's just the direction you're going in. If you get there, good. If you don't worry. It's still the direction you're going in. Relax your knee so the knee itself does not give you a pain. Right? Then, when you lift your leg, hold the outer shin and lift it that way. It'll make it a little bit more comfortable. And straighten the legs again, Upavishta. Okay, right leg again. Hold the inner knee, Baddha Konasana first. Bring it in close. Get the heel like you're tying your ankle to your thigh. Get the heel in close so this inner leg is long while you're in Baddha Konasana. Keep your right leg pushing away, right? And now change the foot into a Janu Shirshasana foot. Turn the foot. Now, assuming that's all going well, keeping this inner leg flowing away from you, here's what we're going to do next. Just kind of listen and watch, and then you'll do, because I don't want you to go after it too hard. But the toes of your left foot, and literally it's just kind of the toes and the middle upper part of your foot. You're going to lean over, and you see I'm even going to pull in front. I just want you to get the toes of that foot up on your other right leg, the inner right leg. And then you can lean back and keep the flow of this inner leg. So it's like flirting with Padmasana. But really what you're getting to do is stretch that ankle. Good. And then release it and bring the leg back out into Upavishta. It goes without saying, do what you can do. Don't pain your knees. The knees are not meant to bear the brunt of this. Instead, the knees should receive space by flowing the inner legs long. Other side, right leg. Baddha Konasana. This Baddha Konasana, get the heel or the ankle as close to the groin as you can. Relax the leg and flow that inner knee. I will tell you, historically, my right leg, hip, side, my whole right side, that's the hard side for me. Most of us have that. If you don't have an asymmetry in your body, you're unusual. But I will say that this knee is the one that always feels it first on me. And the best information I can give you about that, because that's very common, is usually it's what you're doing to grip your knee. Usually. Work to relax the leg as you move it and see if it doesn't give you more space. Then you turn the foot and point it so your heel has a sense of rolling up. Relax the knee. Lean forward. You can just grab the toes, but move those toes to hook your inner left thigh. And then just pause there for a moment and relax the right knee. Get those toes to be lifted so you get this whole front of the leg ankle stretched. All right, and then release that. Straighten the leg. Upavishta. One more time. Left leg first. You can just bring it in and turn it into that Janu Shirshasana leg. Just do it in your own pace so you can relax the knee. Now, here's what I want you to observe what happens. It has to do with the rhythm of your femur bone in your hip socket. And that is, just kind of watch me first if you can glance. When I pick up my left foot and put it on top of my right thigh, watch what my left leg does. It's like nothing I control. It just has to happen that way. Do you see how it moves forward just a little? This part moves forward. This part moves forward, right? So it doesn't stay way out there, and it doesn't just move this way. It rolls forward like that. So I just want you to observe in your own leg, when you bring that foot up, how the knee moves away from the wall and slightly forward. Go on and do that. And you guys all know, if it's difficult, you just stick with the actions before. Now, once you've done that, keep that foot there, bend your right leg, hold the inner knee, bring the right foot under your left knee. And that's it. Release both legs. Flow the inner legs away. Last one. Okay. Hold your inner right knee, Baddha Konasana first. Then that Janu Shirshasana, relax the knee and the leg. Let this flow. Last little bit. You're going to lean forward, take the toes of that foot, and when you lift up, feel how the knee flows forward a little. It's like that whole leg's getting a hug from the outer leg. Lift the chest, relax the knee. Bend your left leg and put the left foot under your right knee. Voila. And then those hips start to get a motion to them. And then release both legs. Okay, both legs forward. As you straighten your legs now, press the heels down and away from you in order to lift your kneecaps up. And feel how when you do that, it kind of just helps the knee. Take downward dog. You can move your mat if you want. In fact, you can bring your mat out back to the middle of the room. Lift the knees, roll those inner upper knees back. Elongate. And then bring the knees down. Watch, I'm going to give you a bolster for the first round so that you just have some support and it feels safe. You can have more than this if you want. Watch me first so it's not a big surprise. So I'm going to sit up on that bolster. Uh-oh, here comes the cat. I thought she was settled. So now I have a little bit of height. I'm going to work with well, maybe I'll work with my right leg first since she's over there at my left. Buttock bones only are on. I'm going to lean way to my left, and I'm going to move my right leg like so. So what I'm trying to do is get way over on the left side so there's no weight borne here. My left leg's still pointing forward. My right thigh is going straight out to the side. There's a square at my knee, so my foot's pointing straight back, and my big toe on the right is pointing straight to that side. So it's like 90 degree at my ankle, 90 degree at my knee, and 90 degree between my two legs. She's cute, huh? This is Mama Blue. She had, how many kittens did you have last summer? She had 14 kittens last summer. She was so rail thin. And so between my aunt and us, we nursed her back, but she's an outdoor mostly. But obviously she does okay indoors. She's very sweet. She's my buddy. So once you do this, you put your hand there on that outer hip. Oh, and you lift your chest up and you'll feel it will adjust this hip, but it's actually more for your knee. It cools the knee down after any kind of Padmasana act. That's right, Grace. Now the trick is, and I can't see you very well on the screen, so you got to be aware of yourself. Make sure this is a 90 degree. Don't pull your heel in by the bolster. It's just a 90 degree out there. And don't just snap upright. Just give yourself a little time because it'll work into this hip. What are you doing? You're distracting. And it'll work into the inner groin. You'll see. And it's nice to put your hand right there at that outer hip crease. Just be there and relax. If you're lucky, no one will bite your toes. Yeah, you're pretty lucky. Okay, and then to switch sides, no pressure, lean and just release that leg. Okay, so really baby that leg, right, that you're putting out to the side. Understand, you're not going after a stretch. You're trying to just relieve everything. And I think it's a little different for everybody. For me, I really feel an adjustment in the hip. Let that outer hip descend. Notice how the knees should feel just completely neutral, right? So it's just a good idea to get used to doing that, even when you're just kind of starting those Padmasana things. Lean to your right, release. And now you do it again, either on your bolster or come off your bolster. It's up to you. Just see what you think you need. But once you start learning it, by the way, when you set up, especially if you're on the floor, I notice this is important. When you get your leg out there like that, watch, there's no good way to say this. I kind of drag myself away from the leg because it helps get that inner leg to the inner knee long again. Yeah, you'll feel it's just a little adjustment. And then, oh, again, upright. Hi, baby. Okay. The weird thing is she looks just almost identical to one of our indoor cats. And when we moved here, I was like, what is Cookie doing outside? And it was her, not Cookie. Okay. Oh, okay. She gets overstimulated. Other side. Hey, get away. Don't bite me. Other side. You're going to lose your yoga room privileges. She doesn't come in here that often, but I like the company. Surrender. Feel that sense of letting go in the hip and in the leg. Ow. All right, guys. Ow. Come on back up. She's biting me. Okay, we're going to do shoulder stand. Have a chair if you need it for halasana. There's a couple things we're going to do, though, in shoulder stand that relate to what we're doing now. So I'll show you real quick, and then we'll do. And you might feel a little, oh, what's the word? A little wobbly in your hips and lower back from doing this work. It's not a bad thing. It's space. It's good. But, you know, just move easily. We'll reconnect everything. So, let me think. Yeah, you know what? If you have a blanket, if you have a chair, just go ahead and get the chair for your feet in halasana. This will be more understandable if you have it. So it can't hurt. It should be like a leg's distance away. You guys know. I guess I'll get a different bolster out. That one's been owned. Oh, you're going to give it back to me. Oh, you're going to use my blankets. Okay, fine. Okay. So what we're going to do is this, a couple things, and then I'll give you one thing as an option. Okay. So what we're going to do is once you come into halasana, of course, the hands at the back, turn your upper arms out, all those things like normal. But now here, once you're here, my feet aren't even touching, that's okay. But I can see my groin. I flow my inner groin to my inner heels. It's not dissimilar from any other halasana you've ever done, but you'll find energetically it's a little different. Now, once I've done that, hands to my front thighs, they press up. We'll be there a little bit. Then I'll say come up one leg at a time, inner knee back, and come on up. And we'll take Baddha Konasana. Same idea. And then if you feel so inclined, you hold the outer foot and you can do half Padmasana here. It's really interesting. And don't even bother with full Padmasana, but you bend that inner leg wide. You can release one hand. So the thing of it is you have to be comfortable enough in shoulder stand, that you can release one hand to do that. If you're not, just don't do it. Do Baddha Konasana and maybe do Baddha Konasana 2 or 3 times. Okay. Otherwise, we'll do half Padmasana. We'll come back down onto the chair. We'll roll out. Okay. So we're going to take that halasana action as we come in and probably also as we come out. Okay. So knees to the chest, and when you're ready, halasana. Turn your upper arms out and get your hands onto your back, high up onto your back. Then exhale, flow the inner groin to your inner ankles. Really flow. It will have an opening and a cooling effect to your back, particularly when your hands come to your thighs and you press your front thighs to your back thighs, keeping that flow of the groin. Then put your hands on your back, lift one leg up, inner knee back so the thigh turns from outside in, and then other leg up. Push up through the heels, buttock up. And then when you bring your feet together, roll the inner knees back. Mound of the foot to the ceiling, tailbone in. Bear weight in your arms and in your shoulders. Then go ahead and begin to bend your knees for Baddha Konasana. As you approach Baddha Konasana, flow the inner legs away. Remember how we pulled our ankles close to our thighs. Look for that here. Then straighten the legs, shoulder stand. Now you can either just repeat that Baddha Konasana, or you bend your left leg like you're going to bring it almost like a Baddha Konasana, right? Flow the inner leg away. Use your right hand to grab the outer left foot. The knee will come close to your head. And then guide the outer arch of your left foot to your front right thigh. The left inner leg lengthens up and you can bring your hand back onto your back. This is one of the first ways I got Padmasana, and it is one of the best ways to get Padmasana because it helps you learn the length and it'll teach you the rhythm of the pose. Then release that leg, shoulder stand. You could do Baddha Konasana again, or bend your right leg like it's going to do Baddha Konasana. Flow the inner leg away. Left hand to the outer right foot. Guide it to your top left thigh. And then flow the inner right leg to the inner right knee towards the ceiling. Lengthen that inner leg. Up, 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 up. Relax the knee. And then release and take both legs up. One leg at a time. Go back to Halasana. Feet on the chair. Flow the inner groins to the inner heels. Use your hands to press the front thighs away. Allow that coolness to come into the lower back. Then, hands to the bolster. Slowly, gently roll yourself down and out of the pose. Slide back so the shoulders can come to the ground and rest there for a moment. All right, and then roll yourself onto the right, press the floor away, and come on up. So let's do this for this evening. Whoops. You'll go ahead and move your blankets away. Let's keep the bolster, and we'll take a Viparita Karani variation with your legs on the chair. Then we'll push the bolster away, take the bolster away altogether, and we'll take shavasana with your legs beneath the chair seat. You see how I kind of straddle the chair and I put my elbows on the bolster because it helps give me traction in my lower back as I lie back. And then back of the knees to the front of the chair seat. And you just got to find that, that right spot there. So again, now it creates that sort of that place of not doing in the legs. And as you come in, that's it, shoulders away from the ears. Feel the freedom in the frontal groins, the inner groins, the inner leg, all that. Surrender and let go. Treat this as shavasana, even though we're not quite in shavasana yet. It's sort of like a series to get to shavasana. Surrender and let go. Now we're going to transition the back to the ground. So use your elbows to press the bolster away from you and towards the chair. You can lift yourself up a little bit if necessary and bring the hips to the ground. You can continue to let the legs rest there on the chair seat. And then before you transition again, be sure the flesh of the buttock flows away from you, away from the lower back. Then move the bolster to the side and bring the legs one leg at a time underneath the chair. You might need to move the chair away a little with your legs, that's okay. But the legs should also be able to just go right under the chair. And you will find then that the legs of the chair will help keep your legs upright. Use that as you then surrender your top thigh, the abdomen, the groins. So at first it might make the legs want to grip, but give it a moment and I think you'll find that the legs can let go and be quite relaxed and comfortable there. Arms either to the sides or on the frontal body, your choice. Allow for that space and freedom that can come to the legs now, into the hip joint, even to the lower back and the abdomen. Okay, everybody, then gently, carefully begin to bend the knees. Be careful of the chair. Roll yourself onto the right hand side and use your hands and your elbow to push the floor away. And bring yourself back to sitting. And that's all for this evening. Namaskar.